Richard, another huge in-division game. Surprise, the Dolphins are for real. Miami at home, 21-19 over the Bills. We saw them try to lose it with a nice butt punt, whatever they're terming it now. Move over Mark Sanchez. Move in whoever this punter is that decides to bank it off of his own player.
Right.
But God bless them, they pulled off the win. I mean, is this catapult Miami into Richard Sherman's top 3 power rankings potentially?
No question it does. Mitchell, we're talking about, I did not think they could do it. Now, they were on Josh Allen early on. They forced a turnover. They made him uncomfortable, made him move around the pocket. You're like, oh my God, Miami has a good plan. Josh Allen figured that part out. Okay, moving on. We're going to figure this out. Buffalo, Josh Allen throws for 400, and you lose. But you knew it was going to be tough this game. You lose Micah Hyde. You lose most of your secondary. They just weren't healthy enough. They weren't healthy enough going into this game. Jordan Poyer, they got banged up at the wrong time. And then you got Cheetah and Jalen Waddle. And you're sitting there like, you just know at one point or another, that's what makes him so dangerous. Tua didn't throw for 469 again, but he threw big plays, big yardage, explosive when they needed him. In the fourth quarter, again, they walked the ball down the field, huge explosive plays. Tua got knocked out of the game, and all of a sudden his back was tight. We hadn't heard of it back tightening up at all. We hadn't heard of this back injury at all. It wasn't in the report, but when his head hit that turf, it was his back. And I don't know who's telling the truth. I just know that's different than what was on the initial reports.
Richard, it doesn't look like a back injury to me either. I mean, and now there's the Dolphins are under the spotlight for the way they handle that situation, but more to come there. What's amazing to me, though, Rich, and this is actually a pretty crazy stat, the Bills since last season are 0-6 in single-possession games. First and foremost, that's insane that all their wins are by more than one possession. But second off, is that a concern when the Bills are in close games that they just can't seem to pull it out?
Mitchell, you know what's a concern? That's a concern, sure. But I think Josh Allen will figure that out, and he's going to be a problem down the stretch for a lot of teams. A problem to me is 63 attempts, career high franchise record. 42 completions, career high. You can't blame him. Team lost 3 fumbles. Kicker went 1 for 2. You lost by 2. Crazy. Mitchell, this is a staggering stat. This should stagger you. They ran 51 more plays. Mitchell, you run 51 more. That's a whole nother game than the other team. You ran a whole nother game than the other team, and you lost? That is disheartening. I can't wait for Buffalo, Miami number 2. But that one, playing at home, Miami showed, hey, we're the real deal. We said they were going to put them in the sunny side of the field, and it was hot. It was too hot. And Buffalo ran way more plays. You would think that Miami's defense would get tired, and they did not. Miami runs a lot of man coverage. They found a way.
Richard, you have experience with Coach Mike McDaniel. The coach of the year potentially here on the horizon?
Easy, Mitchell. Easy now.
You know that pedigree, though, Rich.
I know the pedigree, but we're a little early, and the guy in Philadelphia is going to have something to say about that as well. It's a couple guys going to be in that conversation, but early on, he's definitely in that conversation. But it's a long season, as we know. Just like those ball games, they're a long ball game. If you judge them off the first quarter, there'll be a lot of different outcomes today than what the real outcome was. And I think that we just got to continue to monitor that situation, but they're definitely moving up in my power rankings. They showed they're for real. Buffalo has been outstanding, but those injuries in the secondary are way bigger than people are. Everybody's always offense, but you just lost 2 of the best safeties in the National Football League on one of the best defenses. There's 2 Pro Bowl safeties. One of them was an all-pro at times. Like, you're not just walking away and saying, oh, yeah, we'll be all right. We're going to put some young guys in. And, there are places you can kind of weather the storm. Safety isn't one of them.
That is a brutal blow. Micah Hyde's a hell of a player. And like you said, Jordan Poyer struggling as well. Richard, you mentioned the Eagles. And I know that the NFC East was your dumpster fire walking into the season, and it appeared that way, until the ball was snapped in week 1 in Ford Field and the Eagles were running the ball all over the field. I know you don't want to do it. I don't know why, but I know you don't. But how high up in your ranks are the Eagles going to go?
They're going to get higher than I thought they would get. I'm not going pull back the curtain right now and let people know, but they're going to move up. They're going to move into my top 5, no question. They had a vendetta against Carson Wentz. I don't know what he said leaving Philadelphia to piss them boys off, but everybody wanted a piece of him, and everybody got a piece, Mitchell. 17 quarterback hits, 9 sacks. Mitch, 9 sacks does not happen very often to any team. And the Washington Commanders have not given up 9 sacks in the game. They haven't just been letting him get hit that way. He's been playing pretty decent football. Philadelphia said, that's enough. Fletcher Cox, Hargraves, them boys was at his neck. And then you got Jalen Hurts. Played his game. He moved the ball down the field. He was accurate. He ran it. He's just dynamic. He's really dynamic. He threw for 340, 3 touchdowns. Like, you got to give him credit where credit's due. He's playing good football. You talk about who's early season MVP. He's dark horse. He's dark horse for sure. He's putting himself threw his hat in the ring out of nowhere. Obviously Lamar has won it. Lamar has the pedigree, and he's playing outstanding football week after week after week. But so is Jalen Hurts. That boy said, "Hey, y'all talking about MVP, and y'all ain't mentioning me? Problem."
Well, Richard, they're going to start mentioning him a lot. And the thing with the Eagles is every layer of that offense, they got a good running game. They got explosive receivers. We saw Devontae Smith go off and do his Heisman Trophy-esque things today. And then, as we talked about it, defensively, now their defensive line's starting to show up. But on the outside cornerback positions, our boy, Big Play Slay, is shutting guys down. I mean, day in, day out, shutting guys down. You got him and Bradbury. The Eagles, they might just do it this year, Rich. They have a legitimate shot at coming out of the NFC if they play this way.
Well, all I know is Big Play Slay better get some consideration for this first-team All-Pro. I know it's a long season. Keep watching him. It's only the beginning. He's following guys. He's locking them up. He's playing well. He's over 30. Don't hold that against him. He should be on the first-team All-Pro season this year. I'm calling it early, very early, still the first quarter of the season, but this is who he is. This isn't like, oh, man, he's playing out of his mind this year, or like, man, look at him. Like, he's never played like this. He's always played like this. This is how he played. People are just finally noticing because his team is matching his production. So now he's on a 3-0 team playing lockdown defense, and people are like, man, Darius Slay is a heck of a player. He's been a heck of a player.
100%.
But Devontae Smith having a breakout game after all day A.J. Brown has been the focal point is huge for this team. Like, they've been waiting for him to have the game where he just says, hey, I'm here to stay. I'm here too. And this was the game. He went off. He looked aggressive. He looked explosive. Man, they're going to be tough to deal with.
Skinny Batman, as Slay calls him.
Yeah, Skinny Batman.